Hey, Allison Verhalen here with AV Writing Services, and today I want to talk to you about the difference between content marketing strategy versus just content strategy. As you know, I'm a wordsmith. I am the kind of person who shudders at the thought of using the wrong your or the wrong there, and yet here I was blissfully unaware that I was interchangeably using the terms content marketing strategy versus content strategy. I was horrified to realize that I wasn't using words properly, because what are words for if we don't use them properly, right? Then their definitions are just meaningless. So I thought if I was messing it up, then I'm sure there are plenty other people out there who are messing it up as well. So I wanted to clarify things for you right here and right now and give you just a brief rundown of content marketing strategy versus content strategy. There is a lot of crossover between the two, so to an extent it is totally justifiable to use them interchangeably, but not always. So again, I just want to be clear that we all know our definitions and we're using words properly. So let's start with defining content versus content marketing. So content marketing is anytime you produce content that is meant to market your business. It is website landing pages, blog posts, press releases, newsletters, social media posts, white papers, ebooks, videos, webinars, podcasts, infographics. The list goes on and on and on, right? So anytime that you are trying to get your name out there, establish yourself as a thought leader in your industry, leading prospects through the buyer journey, educating people about the products or services you provide, that is all content marketing. Now, just content fits in all of that stuff, right? But then there's other kinds of content that are not necessarily content marketing. So if you have an employee handbook, if you have a user guide for your product, if you have assembly instructions for your product, that's all content, but it's not marketing content, because you're not trying to get your name out there, establish your brand, get new leads, get new prospects. The goal is completely different for that content. So that's really where it comes down to, in the difference between content versus content marketing, is what is your goal for that particular content? And if you've watched any of my videos or read any of my blog posts, you know that I'm all about the goals, right? That's part of your strategy, has to be identifying those goals for your content and figuring out how you're going to reach those goals through that content. So I do tend to focus on written content. That's my jam. Obviously, I'm a word person, I'm a writer, but it is important to remember that all kinds of content fit into this category. You've got visual, you've got audio, you've got video. For example, you could have a welcome video for new employees. You could have a welcome video for new clients. If they're already buying from you, that's not really marketing content. If they're working for you, that's certainly not marketing content, right? But that is content that you're creating for your business. So again, it's all about the goal for that particular piece of content and what the focus is that determines whether it's content or content marketing. So now that we know those two definitions, let's talk a little bit about content marketing strategy. So again, I talk about this all the time. I feel like a broken record, but it always bears repeating because it is so important that you should not just be creating content to market your business just because you've been told you should be creating marketing content for your business. You need a strategy behind it. So for example, you could get on TikTok to promote your product because you've heard that TikTok is the newest, hottest thing, but if you're not selling your product to teenagers, there's really no point in being on TikTok. That's just a waste of time and energy. Same goes for writing a guest blog post for a website that has nothing to do with your industry. They're not a potential referral partner. They have nothing to do with what you provide. That's just a waste of time and energy, right? That's creating content. And it's marketing content, but it's not a content marketing strategy. So again, you need to identify your target audience. You need to know where they're hanging out online. You need to know what topics they're interested in, what search terms they're using to try to find you. All of that needs to go into your content marketing strategy. Content strategy is similar, but again, it's not always marketing. You can have a similar strategy for those employee welcome videos that you're creating. Do you know that your employees like watching video, or are they like me? Are they all readers and they just want to skim the email and get on with their day? Or do they like having the video in the background while they set up their workspace. You have to know which kind of content your employees are most likely to engage with. Same goes for welcome emails for new clients. Are your clients more likely to watch the video or to read an email? Keep in mind, you can have it both ways when it comes to emails. You can have all that text in an email, and then either at the beginning or at the bottom or somewhere in the middle, you can embed a video. So if they just want to watch the video, they can do that. If they just want to read it, they can do that. So you can kind of let them pick and choose. Obviously, video is huge. More and more people are engaging with video these days. That's why I'm making these videos, right? It's because we are very visual creatures and we like to see other humans, even if it's just on a screen. So chances are good they're more likely to engage with the video, but every once in a while, you're going to get a reader like me who would rather just read through the email so that I can skim it, get through it faster, and then get on with my day. Again, only you know that your employees and your potential clients, your ideal clients, that is all stuff that can be taken in the onboarding, again, of your employees or of your clients. You can have like a little survey that says, do you prefer video? Do you prefer email? Do you prefer phone calls? How do you prefer we contact you or communicate with you? And so we're going to go over next some of the kinds of content. Some of them I think could be either like content or content marketing. So a good example, employee handbooks are obviously content for your business. There's nothing marketing about there, but there is a strategy behind it, right? You want to talk to your HR, you want to talk to your attorneys, make sure you haven't accidentally crossed any lines when you're bringing an employee onto your team, whether as an in-house employee or as an outside contractor. There's always a relationship there, and that relationship requires a certain level of trust. So your employee handbook / contract needs to protect your interests without violating the rights of your employees or contractors. How-to guides, I think, are where we kind of cross the line between content and content marketing, because you can have a guide for people who buy your product. They automatically get a video to go with it that shows them how to set it up, or they get a handbook or something with instructions on how to set it up. That's content. On the other hand, you can have these promotional videos that show people how to use your product, how it makes their lives easier. You can distribute that out into the world to get that in front of prospects, to let them know how awesome your product is. And then it's content marketing, right? It's the same content or similar content, but again, that goal has changed a little bit. So again, know what the goal is for your content, and you might want to tweak it a little bit for different audiences, for existing customers versus potential customers. But that's something that I think can go both ways, especially if you get a little creative about it. Follow-up emails and calls. Obviously, phone calls are not content, but I decided to slip it in under emails because it's kind of the same idea. You're following up with existing clients. And I think there's an argument to be made here that it could be content marketing. I think a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that the buyer journey ends when the customer buys from you, and that's it, end of story. When the truth is, maybe they could buy from you again, or they could refer you to someone else that they know, but only if they're completely satisfied with whatever they got from you. So it's always great to follow up with them and make sure they're completely satisfied, because if they're not, and if you can address it, that's going to make it that much more likely that they will recommend you, compared to if you had not reached out to them and they weren't satisfied and they never heard from you again. They're not going to recommend anyone to you. But if you reach out and say, oh yeah, that's an easy fix, here, take such and such, right? That it goes such a long way to buying their enduring love and loyalty, right? And they may or may not buy from you again, depending on what it is you're providing, but they're much more likely to send you a referral to, when one of their friends or family members says, hey, I need such and such, do you know anyone? They'll go, yeah, I know this person over here because they did a great job for me. So always keep in mind that it takes like 5 times more money to get a new prospect than it is to keep the existing clients. So always, always, always invest in that relationship. So that is it. So whether you're blogging or posting on social media, you might make the mistake of thinking that you're not creating content for your business, but I hope this has corrected your misconception that regardless of the kind of content you're creating, you are creating content for your business. Sometimes it's just content, sometimes it's content marketing, sometimes it's a little bit of both. So if you have any other questions, I have all kinds of content on similar topics just like this on my website, avwritingservices.com. You can check out my blog for all kinds of blog posts on content marketing and content marketing strategy. If you have any questions, you can reach me directly at info@avwritingservices.com. That's it. Have a great week and happy blogging.